Hi there, FEC K to 3rd students, and especially my 3rd grade students, because we are going to be reading a special book called Snowflake Bentley. And this book is fun. It's not really a Christmas story, but it's all about how the first person that was able to photograph a snowflake and really understand how intricate it is. And this is especially appropriate because we are supposed to get some snow. So hopefully this will be something that you will enjoy and learn. And we're going to get started with Snowflake Bentley by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. In the days when farmers worked with ox and sled and cut the dark with lantern light, there lived a boy who loved snow more than anything else in the world. I love snow too. I bet you guys do as well. Willie Bentley's happiest days were snowstorm days. He watched snowflakes fall on his mittens on the dried grass of Vermont farm fields. He was born on February 9, 1865 in Vermont, near Lake Champlain and Mount Mansfield. He loved to see snow on the dark metal handle of the barn door. He said snow was as beautiful as butterflies or apple blossoms. He could net butterflies and show them to his older brother Charlie. He could pick apple blossoms and take them to his mother, but he could not share snowflakes because he could not save them. And Willie was homeschooled. Willie's mother was his teacher until he was 14 years old. He attended school for only a few years after that. She had a set of encyclopedias, and Willie read them all. When his mother gave him an old microscope, he used it to look at flowers and raindrops and blades of grass. Best of all, he used it to look at snow. While the other children built forts and pelted snowballs at roosting crows, Willie was catching single snowflakes. Day after stormy day, he studied the icy crystals. Their intricate patterns were even more beautiful than he had imagined. He expected to find whole flakes that were the same, that were copies of each other, but he never did. Willie decided he must find a way to save snowflakes so others could see their wonderful designs. For 3 winters, he tried drawing snow crystals. They always melted before he could finish. He learned that most crystals had 6 branches in them. For each snowflake, the 6 branches were alike. I found that snowflakes were masterpieces of design, he said. No design was ever repeated. When he was 16, Willie read of a camera with its own microscope. If I had that camera, I could photograph snowflakes, he told his mother. Willie's mother knew he would not be happy until he could share what he had seen. Fussing with snow is just foolishness, his father said. Still, he loved his son. When Willie was 17, his parents spent their savings and bought the camera. It was taller than a newborn calf and cost as much as his father's herd of 10 cows. Willie was sure that it was the best camera of all cameras. The camera made images on large glass negatives, and its microscope could magnify a tiny crystal from 64 to 3,600 times its actual size. Even so, his first pictures were failures, no better than shadows. Yet he would not quit. Mistake by mistake, snowflake by snowflake, Willie worked through every storm. Winter ended, the snow melted, and he had no good pictures. He waited for another season of snow. One day, in the second winter, he tried a new experiment. It worked. Willie had figured out how to photograph snowflakes. Now everyone can see the great beauty in the tiny crystal. His experiment was to use a very small lens opening, which let only a little bit of light reach the negative. He kept the lens open for several seconds, up to a minute and a half. He learned too that he could make the snow crystals show up more clearly by using a sharp knife to cut away all the dark parts of the negative around the crystals. But in those days, no one cared. Neighbors laughed at the idea of taking pictures of snow. Snow in Vermont is as common as dirt, they said. We don't need pictures. Willie said the photographs would be his gift to the world. While other farmers sat by the fire or rode to town with horse and sleigh, Willie studied snowstorms. He stood at the shed door and held out a black tray to catch the flakes. When he found only jumbled, broken crystals, he brushed the tray clean with a turkey feather and held it out again. He waited for hours for just the right crystal and didn't even get cold. If the shed were warm, the snow would melt. If he breathed on the back tray, the snow would melt. If he twitched a muscle as he held the snow crystal on the long wooden pick, the snowflake would break. He had to work fast or the snowflake would evaporate before he could slide it into place and take its picture. Some winters, he was able to make only a few dozen good pictures. Some winters, he made hundreds. The best snowstorm of his life occurred on Valentine's Day in 1928. He made over 100 photographs during the 2-day storm, and he called the storm a gift from King Winter. Willie so loved the beauty of nature, he took pictures in all seasons. In the summer, his nieces and nephews rubbed coat hangers with sticky pitch from spruce trees. Then Willie could use them to pick up spider webs, jeweled with water drops, and take their pictures. On fall nights, he would gently tie a grasshopper to a flower so he could find it in the morning and photograph the dew-covered insect. But his snow crystal pictures were always his favorites. He gave copies away or sold them for a few cents. He made special pictures as gifts for birthdays. He held evening slideshows on the lawns of his friends. Children and adults would sit on the grass and watched while Willie projected his slides onto a sheet hung over a clothesline. That's pretty cool because we do that today to watch movies. Many colleges and universities bought lantern slide copies of his photographs and added to their collections each year. Artists and designers use the photographs to inspire their own work. He wrote about snow and published his pictures in magazines. He gave speeches about snow to faraway scholars and neighborhood skywatchers. "You are doing a great work," said a professor from Wisconsin. The little farmer came to be known as the world's expert on snow. He was known as the Snowflake Man. But he never grew rich. He spent every penny on his pictures. Willie said there were treasures in snow. "I can't afford to miss a single snowstorm," he told a friend. "I never know when I will find some wonderful prize." Other scientists raised money so Willie could gather his best photographs in a book. And when he was 66 years old, Willie's book, His Gift to the World, was published. Still, he was not ready to quit. Less than a month after turning the first page on his book, Willie walked 6 miles home in a blizzard to take more pictures. but he became very ill with pneumonia after that walk, and he died just 2 weeks later. A monument was built for Willie in the center of town. The girls and boys who had been his neighbors and who had grown up and told their sons and daughters the story of the man who loved snow. 40 years after Willie Bentley's death, children up in his village worked to set up a museum in honor of the former scientist. And his book has taken the delicate snow crystals that once blew across Vermont, past mountains, over the earth. Neighbors and strangers have come to know of the icy wonders that land on their own mittens, thanks to Snowflake Bentley. And here's a picture of Willie Bentley taking a photograph of something. But here are some of the snowflakes that he was able to capture images of. And now you know about Snowflake Bentley. And I hope you enjoy the story on this lovely snowy day.